Hey everyone, namaste. Let's go ahead and find a comfortable seated position. That could be on a chair with the hips propped up on a block or in a cross-legged seat. When you arrive in your seat, just find your hands to your knees or your thighs and take those first few moments to begin to identify some of the deeper muscles of the spine, some of the deeper muscles of the core that wrap your bones, those muscles that help to lengthen us from the inside so that we're not hanging out in the tissues, so that we're not rounding in the spine, but find that length from the inside. Then go ahead and soften your eyes. And just start to set an intention for today's practice. Maybe bring some gratitude into your day. Start to bring some awareness to the breath as well. Breathing in through the nose, breathing up and out through the nose. As you continue bringing some awareness to the breath, just allow the breath to guide you through some sort of movement. This breath is shape change as the ribs expand, the lungs expand, and on the exhale, ribs collapse downward and in. You might notice a gentle sway forward and back. Maybe on the inhale, you gently rock back and tall in the sit bones. And exhale, you gently lead with the heart forward. But don't force anything, just allow the breath to be movement here. Perhaps the next time you rock back and you find your tallest spot on the sit bones, just use the exhale to engage the pelvic floor muscles, the deeper muscles of the core to lengthen you up, lengthen. Lift up the heart, lift up the neck, lengthen through the crown. And on the next inhale, we're just going to interlace the fingers. You can gently crack the eyes open. So the palms reach forward. And reach the sky so the eyes of the elbows come up to the ears. As you exhale, really stretch out the backs of the shoulders, trying to get the arms as straight as you can here. Breathing in, we'll gently begin to reach the palms forward, keeping the arms straight, pressing the palms forward. And on the exhale, we soften the chin towards the heart as we round the spine. So breathing in, there's this gentle pull of the arms forward as they go high to the sky. Stretching out the backs of the shoulders. Reach into the sky. On the next inhale, palms come forward. And exhale, softening towards the earth, rounding down. Breathing in this gentle pull forward. Heart comes forward. Breathing out, stretching high. Locking out the elbows. So breathing in one more time. Palms come forward. Breathing out. Inhale forward. And exhale out. So the next inhale, the arms will just sweep behind us as we interlace the fingers behind. The knuckles will reach away as the heart pulls forward. Perhaps the chin lifts up, perhaps the head even drops back, but it's still early in class, so whatever feels right for you right here. On the exhale, we'll begin to bow forward as we reach the knuckles to the sky, stretching out the backs of the shoulders, backs of the arms. So breathing in, we'll take the knuckles to the sacrum this time as the elbows wrap in, spreading wide through the collarbones. As the heart pulls forward, the chin lifts. And on the exhale, we round from the sacrum thoracic spine, top of the head. The knuckles begin to reach back, bowing down. Breathing in, knuckles press down to neutralize the spine. As we lengthen high leading, through the front of the spine, lifting the chin. Exhale, rounding down, reaching the knuckles back first, then they come to the sky. Swan and exhale as we come back through center. Just arms will float to the sky. And exhale, the right arm will come out to the right side. Left arm reaches high. So we're stretching this left side, making sure that left hip is grounded into the floor. On the exhale, maybe we begin to lean to the right side, pressing down through that left sit bone though, making sure that left hip stays on the floor as this left arm reaches over the left ear. Perhaps you begin to slide down to your wrist or your elbow, but as long as you can keep that left hip grounded, stretching through that, the middle finger down to the wrist, the elbow, the armpit, the underside of the arm, the ribs, the hip, even to the quad and the knee as we stretch this left side. So breathing in, we'll come back through center, both arms reach high, getting long in the waist, shimmy side to side as the left fingertips come down, right arm over the right ear, stretching this right side, reaching through the fingertips, stretching that right underside, right side ribs, right side hip, getting that right hip down on the ground. If you have to stay a little higher on this side, pressing down through that right sit bone, stretching this right side. So breathing in, just going a little faster, just one more time each side, and breathing out. Inhale, we'll come through center. And exhale, we'll go the other way. Perhaps gaze towards the ceiling, chin comes towards the armpit. Breathing in, the next time we come through center, just going to bow forward, placing the hands forward, crowing the hands forward, stretching the backs of the shoulders, reaching through the crown, softening the head towards the ground. So really reaching long here through the fingertips, keeping the arms active. On the inhale, we'll take the right hand to the right heart as we spin open to the right side. Option to reach the hand to the sky. Exhale, we'll just place the hand back down, reaching a little longer through the fingers this time. So breathing in, left hand to left heart. Breathing out, sweep it to the sky, reaching high, and then come forward. Stretching through the fingers, getting a little bit longer each time. So inhale, right hand to heart. Sweep it up. And exhale, circling it down, reaching through the fingers before you place it on the ground. Inhale, left side. Reach high and exhale, reaching forward, reaching long. Place it down, bowing towards the ground. So on the next inhale, we'll begin to crawl the hands back. And exhale, we'll just place the hands on the knees as we sit tall, lengthen through the spine. So just taking a couple of breaths here, just to reconnect to your body. Seeing how the shoulders feel, the neck, the back, the arms. See if you created a little space, maybe a little length or a little widening through the chest. And when you're ready, taking your time though, as easeful as you can, I'm just going to begin to sweep the ribs side to side. So if you're sitting up on a block, you may want to remove the block, just so you have full mobility, full range of movement here. You're not worried about falling off of a prop. But making sure you keep the core engaged. So we have some length from the inside, we have some length in the spine, so we're not rounding in the spine, we're not hanging out in the soft tissues. Begin to make the movements a little bigger, circling the hips down to one side, over to the other and back. So you can keep the eyes open or closed if you choose. Sometimes it's nice just to keep them soft and just move with your breath. Go ahead and reverse the direction. Try to allow the head just to go with the motion here, so you'll have a little softness to the neck muscles as you move. As organic as your body allows, just start to move asymmetrically, finding all those tight spots. So just exploring the waves of the spine, maybe any tension. Just taking the next few moments on your own to explore any final movements that you need before finding the weight evenly between the sit bones. So really not just coming to stillness, to find some stillness, just knowing that when we reconnect to the breath too, the breath will move us, perhaps side to side, perhaps forward and back. And as we keep the core engaged, we keep that length, we find our version of stillness. On the next inhale, we're going to go ahead and dive the heart down. And on the exhale, we're going to bow down between the thighs, folding towards the ground. On the inhale, we'll gently rock the weight back in the hips. The chin gently lifts up, and on the exhale, we lead with the heart, folding forward, bowing towards the earth. Inhale, just one more like that. Gentle rock back so we get some length in the spine. Core muscles are engaged. Exhale, keeping that core without losing it. Folding forward. On the next inhale, we'll gently peel the heart forward, offering the heart to the sky. Maybe the chin lifts, maybe the head drops back. On the exhale, we grab the shins, drop the chin, and round in. So just creating as big of movements as you can, bowing down, get as close to the ground as you dive. Heart lifts, head drops back. Exhale, round from the sacrum through the thoracic spine, top of the head. So breathing in, diving down, arching back, and breathing out, rounding in. So on the next inhale, we'll gently take the arms with us. So the elbows will sweep wide, fingers will reach the sky. Exhale, we rock back, we lengthen up the front of the spine. So breathe in and we soften as we come forward. Fingertips float high. Exhale, we rock back, engage the core, lengthen high. Breathing in, floating forward, and breathing out. Now on the next exhale, as we rock back, we're going to press the sit bones down and lift the heels off the mat. So inhale, we just place the feet back down, arms float forward. But exhale, we engage those core muscles, all the muscles that wrap our bones, even our inner leg line, as we lift the heels off the mat. So inhale, floating forward. And exhale, we press down, heels lift off the mat. So breathing in. On the next exhale, we're going to keep the heels lifted this time. So just bringing the toes to touch here. Interlace the fingers, extending the first finger in space. On the inhale, we just lengthen from toes to nose. And on the exhale, we press the sit bones down, bring the knees wide of the elbows. So breathing and lengthen out. Breathe, breathing out. Inhale, we soften, get long from toes to nose. Exhale, we see if we can lift up through the front of the spine. So there's no round in the thoracic spine. So inhale, we lengthen out. Exhale, engage, bringing the knees wide, maybe even of the shoulders this time. So on the inhale now, we'll just lift everything up. Maybe we lengthen the legs, perhaps the knees stay bent. Exhale, we just cross the ankles, rolling forward, placing the knees under the hips, hands under the shoulders here. And when we arrive in our all fours, we just gently sway the body side to side. Just taking this moment as we were in our cross-legged seat, just finding the weight evenly between the hands and the knees, perhaps lifting up a hand and the other. And then we begin to find some stillness here. So on the inhale, we drop the belly, we gently arch the spine, and exhale, we press the earth away as we round from the sacrum through the crown. So inhale, the elbows wrap in, as we screw the hands into the mat, so the fingers may turn out slightly as we gently pull the ground towards us. So we lead the heart forward, arching the spine as the chin lifts up. Exhale, we press the ground away, round from the tailbone through the top of the head. So breathing and pulling the ground forward, elbows wrap in. Breathing out, we push the ground away, round the spine as we drop the chin. Inhale, just one more like that. And exhale. So on the next inhale, we'll just tuck the toes. The hands may crawl forward just a couple of inches, but the elbows are bent. And the knees are going to stay bent as we press into our spongy down dog here. So we're screwing the hands into the ground so the elbows wrap in. And then we just press up. Gentle bend to the knees and elbows. We'll gently straighten the left leg, then the right, just pedaling out the feet, allowing the head to be heavy, the shoulder, the neck, the jaw to be soft. So on the next inhale, with the bent elbows, bent knees, we're going to sweep the right leg to the sky. And we're going to bend the knee, stack the hip. And exhale, we're going to rainbow the knee to the right tricep. So if this is too much, option to just stay in down dog. Exhale, rainbow the knee to the right shoulder. Breathe in and we sweep it open. On the exhale, everyone's going to find their way, stepping the right foot forward, wide to the right hand. Maybe it only makes it halfway up the mat. That's okay. Take another hop forward. Sliding the back leg back. Dropping the back knee to the ground, even untucking the toes. So we're going to be here for a while, so make sure you find some sort of comfort, padding up that back knee if you need. Making sure the right toes are pointed forward. This right knee, we want to track outside that right foot, so even to the second, third toe, even to the outside edge of that right foot. So we don't want this knee collapsing inside. So what we're going to do, first step here, we're going to take this right hand on top of the right foot as we just begin to isolate this right side hip. Now we're just using the we're using the hand to keep that foot straight so we're not opening up the right side. We want this foot fully on the ground as we isolate that right side. So this is our first step here. So everyone's allowed to stay here. If you want to go deeper into this stretch, what we'll do is we'll begin to make our way down to the left forearm. Even place the left hand on the foot as the right hand comes to maybe the inner thigh, perhaps outside of the foot, as we just begin to isolate this right side. So a lot of these hip exercises that we're going to do in this class, you're going to be able to see immediate results in the openness of your hips. So if you stick with it today, you're going to see some drastic change in some of the external rotators of the hip. I mean, too often people stand with kind of the feet, the toes pointed outward, so we have this collapse of the inner arch, this collapse of the medial side of the knee, this impingement of the hip. So if we can keep the toes pointed forward, we can open up some of this stuff inside here. So the next step, if you stay there if you choose, or even turn the entire belly button over that foot as we begin to come down onto that right side. Still oscillating that right side hip. Just some gentle circles. So there's a couple more stretches we're going to do on this right side. So like I said, make sure you find some comfort. If at any time this becomes too much, just come out and then come back in when you choose. So we'll take this left hand way over to the left side. So we're leaning to the left. Our whole chest is turned to the left as we take the right hand inside of that right thigh. Right toes pointing forward, trying to get that foot on the ground, activating that medial arch of the foot as we isolate the right side, turning away, dropping this left hip down, even working that left hip flexor here. So we open up this right side hip, perhaps opening up to the sky. So we're going to be here a few more moments. So just do the best you can to stay with it. We're really going to be able to show immediate results in some of this hip. And a lot of times people are afraid to push on some of this and open up the knee to the side. But from what I've seen from everybody I've worked with is that this is actually good to be able to open up some of the tissues. And the knee joint allows for some side to side movement as well. So it's okay to get here inside of the thigh and really work that out so that we can release some of this junk here in some of the hip joint and some of the external rotators of the hip, which are in the glute. Then we'll come back, we'll find our way through center here. And as we do so, we're just going to allow that foot to open up this time. So allow that knee to really open up, and you can stay here forward, or you can begin to turn the chest over that right side leg. Beginning to make your way down towards the earth, towards the floor. You can use blocks if you need, or stay high in the hands if you choose. But stay wherever you need to be at this moment. And again, continue to make some tiny circles with this right side hip. Turning over this right foot. Really opening up. You can even place this right hand on that inner thigh. Once you make your way over that knee, perhaps the fingers start to come over. So you're framing that right side knee and the chest comes over that knee. As you gently isolate this right side hip, really opening up that right side. Just a few more moments here. We're going to make our way back through center. So we tuck the back toes, lift that back knee off the ground. We're going to slide this right foot back, step it back, place it on the ground. So really take a few moments here to move how you need to move. Perhaps you even want to circle this right hip a few times, or the left. That left knee was on the mat. So we were really opening up this left side hip flexor. Pedaling out the feet, stretching the back. Whatever feels right for you here. Taking your time, no rush to get to the second side, but coming back through that spongy down dog. So a gentle bend in the elbows, wrapping the elbows in, bend to the knees. We'll sweep the left foot high, bend the knees, stack the hip, and exhale, we rainbow the knee to the left tricep. So breathing in, sweep it open. And breathing out, knee high in that arm. Inhale, open up. And exhale, we lightly step the foot forward. Maybe it's one giant hop. Maybe we land short. You have to take a second hop. Sliding this back foot back. Taking your time to come into this position. Padding up that back knee if you need. Sometimes one knee is more sensitive than the other. So really taking your time. When you arrive here, you have the option of staying high. You have the option of starting to come low inside of that thigh, or jump right into our first pose, taking that left hand on this left foot, beginning to isolate that left side, just creating a little movement with the tissues, some gentle circles of this left side hip, making sure that right hip is tracking downwards towards the mat, so it's not hiked up on that right side. We create some gentle movement. So option to stay here, option to go a little deeper, especially for my ninja friends. You want to take the right hand to the top of that foot, coming down in that forearm, continuing to isolate this right side. Perhaps you want to start turning the chest over that left foot. Keeping the right hand on the foot. Opening up that right side. Coming as low as you choose, or staying as high as you want. And for many of us who sit down for so much of the day, I mean, this is so important for us. We get so tight in the hips, which affects everything above the hips and everything below as well. So we really want to open this stuff up. I think the second part really is working on posture, sticking with your posture. Stop turning the toes outwards. See if you can point the toes forward. See if you can have 60% of the weight in the heels with only 40% in the toes. See if the head can be stacked over shoulders, over ribs, or pelvis. See if you can create some length in the lumbar, so you have that length in the spine so the pelvis isn't tilted forward, so we're not crunching in the low back and creating more tension than we need. So begin to make your way onto the second pose here. So we're just going to crawl our hands all the way to the right side, placing the right hand way out to the side, taking this left hand inside this left thigh. So making sure the toes are pointed forward, readjusting if you need. To gently work this left hand inside that left thigh, trying to keep that big toe on the mat as we isolate that left side hip. Looking away to start. And if you choose, you can begin to open up towards the sky. It's not necessary here. The idea here is to open up this hip. But the way that our tissues are connected in the body, sometimes an entire rotation frees up some more tension in the neck and the shoulders. And in the side ribs. So just working this left side, isolating that left side hip, creating some little circles here. So taking your time to come out of that, we're going to come into the third final stretch here, allowing that knee to fall outward. Begin to crawl the fingertips over that left side, maybe framing the foot to start off, perhaps coming lower if you can. And then eventually, we'll begin to crawl the hands out to the left side, Bring that left knee as close to the mat as you can. Isolating the left side, turning over that left thigh. Really opening up all this junk on the outer thigh and the outer hip. Some of that stuff way down there in the hip flexor. Open up this hip. We should see immediate results after standing up from this or after retesting perhaps a squat or any other running pattern. So taking your time to come out, gently place the hands down, tuck the back toes, lifting the knee off the ground. And this time, instead of stepping back, we're going to walk the fingertips forward. We're going to step the right foot forward towards the outside of the mat. So the feet will be wide here, maybe even a little outside of shoulder distance, but somewhere between armpit distance and shoulder distance. We'll send the hips back and wide, making sure the core's engaged so we have that length from the inside. So we send the hips back towards the heels. Hands come to prayer. So we work the elbows inside of the knee. So making sure those toes are pointed forward, core is engaged, working those knees outward. Really making sure those knees are tracking to the outside toes, the outer edge of the foot. Hands to prayer, working inside. Just notice any difference here in your squat and maybe something you're used to. Notice where you're more open. Then on the next inhale, just place the fingertips on the ground. We begin to lift the hips to the sky. So on the inhale, hips will go back and wide. As we bend the knees, and exhale, we step the left foot back and long. So breathing in, we're just going to frame this foot. So we have a little bit of a wider stance here. Inhale, we send the hips back and wide, and exhale, we just fold forward over that right straight leg. Breathing in, you gently come forward, heart pulls forward, exhale, chin lifts. So just one more like that, just gentle, sending the hips back, exhale, folding forward. Breathing in, gently bending that knee, bring the knee over the ankle. Breathe now, gently pulling the ground towards us, stretching the heart forward. So on the inhale now, we'll soften the head towards the ground as we place the left hand down. Tucking the back toes, lifting that knee off the ground. Exhale, we spin open to the right side. So right hand floats high. Breathing in, we bend the back knee as we circle the arm. And breathing out, we press the feet down. Begin to lengthen the right leg. So right arm reaches high. So one more like that, bending the knees, circling the arm. Exhale, pressing down, creating that length and strength from the ground through the fingers. Breathing in, the hands will frame the foot. Say crawl forward. Breathing out, we're going to step forward, left foot forward. Inhale, hips back and wide, engaging the core, lengthen the spine. Exhale, hands to prayer. Elbows inside the knees. Lengthen high. So on the next inhale, taking your time, fingertips to the ground. Bending the knees a lot. Sit bones back and wide. Exhale, stepping back to the right leg. Dropping the knee. So framing the foot here. Inhale, we send the hips back and wide. And exhale, we drop the head towards the knee. Breathing in, gently pulling the ground towards us. Elbows wrap in. Breathing out. Heart reaches forward. Chin lifts. Inhale back. And exhale, fold. Breathing in forward. And breathing out. So on the inhale, we just soften the head, placing the right hand under the right shoulder, tucking the back toes, lifting that knee off the ground. Exhale, left arm up. Breathing in a big circle with the arm. Breathing out, we press down, lengthen the leg, lengthen the arm. Inhale, rebend the joints. Big circle. Exhale, we express. Create that length and strength from the inside out. Inhale, hands come down. Fingers crawl forward. Weight shifts forward. Exhale, we step maybe a couple steps it takes us to get forward. Breathing in, hips back and wide, engaging the core. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, sitting down towards the heels, hands to prayer, elbows inside. Taking a full breath in here, and a full breath out. On the next inhale, fingertips will come to the ground. Exhale, we reach the hips to the skies, we fold between the thighs. Breathing in, we lift and spread the toes. And breathing out, we press the feet down and roll up. Belly, ribs, heart. And the chin gently lengthens as the arms float high. Exhale, hands to prayer. Soften the eyes. Just taking these final moments of class to check in with your body, check in with how you feel. Different. Whether your hips are more open. Maybe it's something that we released in the glute medius, glute max, piriformis, all of those external rotators of the hip. Maybe it's something you feel more open, the front of the hip flexors. And take the next breath or two to come back to the intention that you set at the beginning of class. Or maybe it was something you were grateful for. To bring that back into your day, to allow that feeling to light you up from the inside so that you can go out there and serve the world with your best. It's been an honor and a privilege. Thank you for taking this journey with me today. Namaste.